Jonathan Lederman from LSS Law, and I'm here to discuss the pros and cons of filing a Chapter 13 bankruptcy. Now, first, I want to congratulate you for potentially making the very difficult decision to file bankruptcy in the first place. I recognize that it's a very stressful and overwhelming decision to make. Once you make the decision to proceed with a bankruptcy, the next hardest decision will be which of the two chapters will you file, Chapter 7 or Chapter 13. Both come with their own pros and cons, and in this video, I'm just going to address the pros and cons of a Chapter 13. The first pro of a Chapter 13 bankruptcy is that more debts are dischargeable in a Chapter 13 than in a Chapter 7. For example, willful and malicious injury to property claims are dischargeable in a Chapter 13, as are debts arising from property settlements in divorce proceedings. The second pro of a Chapter 13 is that you can potentially keep more of your personal property. In a Chapter 7 liquidation, if you own personal property in excess of what you get to keep for free, either it will be liquidated or you need to repurchase your interest from the Chapter 7 trustee. But a Chapter 13 assumes you're keeping all of your personal property, and your Chapter 13 payment is sort of accounting for the fact that you are keeping it. The third pro of a Chapter 13 is that if you find yourself behind in your mortgage payments on your home, in a Chapter 7, you're going to lose that property. But a Chapter 13 has the unique ability to allow you to pay the arrears in a Chapter 13 and catch up in what is called a cure and maintain plan. Now, it's not all roses in a Chapter 13. It does come with some cons. The first con is that it takes much longer than a Chapter 7 to complete. In Chapter 7, you can be in and out of the bankruptcy in about 90 days if all goes well. But in a Chapter 13, you're making payments to your creditors for a minimum period of time of 36 months and a maximum period of time of 60 months, which means you can't start to rebuild your credit until after you've successfully completed that plan. The second con is that Chapter 13, unlike Chapter 7, comes with debt limits. Now, the good news is that for a period of 2 years, starting in June 2022, after President Biden signed a new law into effect, the Chapter 13 debt limit has been increased to $2,750,000 combined unsecured and secured debt. Now, that law is subject to sunset in 2 years, but for now, it opens the door for more people to be able to file Chapter 13, because what it was before that and what it sunset to after that is that you could only have a maximum unsecured amount of debt, which is like credit card debt, of $465,275 and secured debt of a little bit under $1.4 million. So that was limiting people to file Chapter 13, and if you exceed those debt limits, then you'd be forced to consider an individual Chapter 11 bankruptcy. Now, the third and final con that I'll discuss here is that, of course, in a Chapter 13, you're paying back your debts. In a Chapter 7 bankruptcy, most likely you're just wiping out debt without having to pay anything to your creditors. But in a Chapter 13, you're making monthly payments for 3 to 5 years, which could be very difficult. If you are ready to sit down with an attorney like myself or one of my partners to discuss a bankruptcy in more detail, please contact my office at your earliest opportunity to schedule a no-cost, no-obligation strategy session. And if you're not quite ready for that, but you'd like access to some of our additional resources, you can click on the links below and find answers to some of your other frequently asked questions. Again, I'm ready, willing, and able to help you. Just make the call when you're ready.